Hi there, it's Sue here from madeforketo.com. Today I'm going to talk about the carnivore diet. So I've been looking into carnivore for a little while, and I've decided that I'm going to do a bit of an experiment on myself, and I'm starting on the carnivore diet from today. So my history, if you go back through my YouTube channel, you'll see that I had a diagnosis with something called pyroluria 8 years ago. And pyroluria, if you go back and watch those videos, I kind of explain. I've got some blog posts about it as well, and I'll link to those below. But pyroluria basically causes nutritional deficiencies, predominantly in zinc and vitamin B6, but then because of those, a whole lot of other stuff as well. It can be caused by stress, and it's exacerbated by stress, and it can be genetic. And so I was on high-dose supplements for a few years, and then I've just gradually taken myself off of those and have been finding that I'm pretty much the same with or without them these days. So I've been moving towards more whole food sort of supplements and staying away as much as possible from the pills and capsules, individual vitamins and minerals and that sort of thing. So I tend to use a magnesium spray, and I've been going for things like this product here, Oceans Alive, which is a marine phytoplankton that just contains tons and tons of nutrients, and black seed oil, so made by the same company. These guys are awesome, this company. I will link to those below as well. So I've been using, whoops, where's the camera? I've been using black seed oil from this company as well. And I'm currently using also milk thistle oil. Now, on the carnivore diet, depends on who you listen to. Some carnivores eat only meat and salt and drink water. Others do dairy and eggs. Some do offal, some don't. Some have some occasional fruit and honey, others don't. And there's a lot of kind of disagreement in amongst all of that as to what the real natural human diet is. Now, I believe this is all kind of on the right path, just from what I've seen and what makes sense to me and from my experience in the past. But you don't know until you try, and that's the thing. It's like my daughter actually mentioned carnivore to me, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 years ago, and I just kind of ignored it and put it to one side because my whole paradigm revolved around plants being superfoods. And I've been vegan in the past. I was vegan for 2 years. I was vegetarian for over 10 years, and ended up going back to eating meat again about 15 years ago in an effort to try and resolve thyroid and health issues. And I can tell you, when I started eating meat again, it was like changing religion. I really thought long and hard. It wasn't an easy decision to make. But when I did, I could not get enough meat into my body, and I noticed an immediate difference in the way that my muscles felt. That was actually when I started running. And I continued running for about 8 years until my health all flagged again, and a lot of things changed for me. But I think I'm on the right track. It feels like, intuitively, it feels to me like I'm on the right track. It makes sense to me that plants have toxins in them to protect themselves. So this is what this whole theory is based around, is that plants, because they can't run away from us and run away from animals, they have toxins in them, and more toxins in different parts of the plants depending on how essential they are to their survival. So the seeds and the nuts have the highest level of toxins. And I'd actually started listening to initially Dr. Gundry, probably maybe 2 or 3 years ago, talking about lectins in like beans and seeds, and even in nightshade vegetables, I think, potatoes, in the potato skins in particular. And then it's just kind of been a gradual process since then. My upbringing was with a dad my dad's been vegetarian now for probably close to 50 years, and so he was kind of heading into vegetarianism when I was a kid. And so I heard lots of bad things about meat and lots of good things about plants. So it's been a real big part of my belief system, as it is with a lot of people. I mean, we've been also indoctrinated into the whole plants, fruits and vegetables being the superfoods, that and meat causing heart disease and cancer and all the rest of it, that it's a hard paradigm shift for a lot of people. But the only way is to try things for yourself. You can't sit there and go, no, that's BS and it's not ever going to work, especially when you can see people who it is working for and who have been on this diet for years and years and years and have resolved autoimmune diseases and all sorts of health issues and diabetes and all of these things that there's supposedly no real answer for. So I'm diving in. I'm in two minds as to whether to continue with some of those supplements that I'm currently taking. I think for a lot of us who are really kind of metabolically broken, initially there may be problems. So I know, like over the last couple of weeks, last probably 3 or 4 weeks, I've been eating more and more meat and less vegetables, and I've been having a few little arrhythmia things and a couple of dizzy spells, but that's not unusual for me. So I've been having that sort of thing happen for a long time. I've been having issues with arrhythmia since I was a teenager. So and the dizzy spells, I had really bad vertigo off and on for the last over 10 years since we had a very stressful year in a business. And so it's been I think predominantly for me an adrenal issue, but the dizzy spells that I'm having of late are a little bit different, and they had settled, and then over the last couple of weeks there's just been a couple. I'm not sure whether my blood pressure, I tend to have low blood pressure. I don't know whether it's that my blood pressure is kind of doing a little dive or whether it's an electrolyte issue. So I've just ordered some electrolytes from that same company that I've got these other subs from, and I will link to those below, and I'll do a review of those electrolytes when I get them. And so I'll take those, I'll add them to my water and see if they help, which I just have a feeling that they will. Electrolyte issues are quite common when people start on carnivore initially, and some people just continue to take electrolytes from what I've seen. Others don't need them, it just depends. My question with my supplements that I'm currently taking are that 2 of them are seed oils. The milk thistle, I've nearly finished that bottle of black seed, so I will probably finish that bottle and then leave it for a while I'm seeing how I go with this, and then reintroduce it later, maybe as an off and on thing, if I think I need it. This milk thistle oil, there's probably half a bottle left in there. I'll probably continue to take that because I bought it for my liver, and heading into this diet, I want my liver to be as healthy as it can be, and I'm quite sure that the diet will help, but I'm not sure whether that'll help or hinder at this point. So I'll keep taking it, and I'll report back later. I've kind of been coming to a bit of a realization or a thought process of late. I heard someone say, and I don't know where I saw it or heard it, but I heard someone say that herbs and things like garlic and that are medicines, which they are. They are medicines, and they've been used for a very long time. But this person said that they shouldn't be used on a daily basis. And that's kind of where I'm heading now with my thought process. So things like that milk thistle seed, take it for a little while to help your body to overcome something and then stop. The herbs and spices are powerful medicines. And I'm kind of wondering if the fact that we do tend to use a lot of them on a daily basis. I mean, I've used garlic and chili and things like cinnamon and all sorts of spices and things on a really regular basis. You know, herbal teas, peppermint. In recent times I've been drinking like star anise and clove and cinnamon again, and all sorts of mixtures, chamomile and things. And I have to wonder whether they over a time when your body needs them are going to create beneficial change. But then if you keep having them all the time when you don't need them, whether they're causing problems. That's kind of my thoughts. So I kind of wanted to touch on that. Another supplement range of supplements or type of supplement that a lot of people take on carnivore is offal. So there are different thoughts on whether we should eat offal or not. Some people eating carnivore eat loads and loads of offal and they're fine, or they eat it on a regular basis. I'm not saying loads, but they eat it on a regular basis and they're fine. I watched a video the other day, and I can't remember the lady's name, but she almost killed herself eating liver patés every day because her liver wasn't able to handle it. Her liver became toxic because vitamin A is toxic in overdose, and so she was basically killing off her liver. So for me, I can't stand the taste of liver or kidney or anything like that. It's just, ugh. I bought these guys are a New Zealand company, and they have all types of liver from organic New Zealand grass-fed beef in capsule forms. And so I was taking these every day, and then I watched her video, and I was like, oh, okay, so maybe I need to not have them every day, especially while my body is in this condition, because when we are metabolically broken, when our livers aren't functioning the way that they should be, we need to be a little bit careful, I think, about what we're chucking in our bodies and expecting our bodies to cope with. So I've been taking these. I might take some maybe once a week, just 1 or 2 capsules once a week, because liver has massive amounts of nutrition in it, but maybe it can be too much. And some people don't seem to need it at all. They live on muscle meats and they're fine. So this product here has got in it, it's got heart, liver, kidney, spleen, and pancreas. So it's a mixture of different types of offal, and then there's other ones with uterus and testes and those sorts of things in them, and brain and all sorts of things. Delightful parts of the nose to tail eating of animals. So other supplements that people might find handy, and I do have some of these up in the cupboard, and I have been using some is enzymes, so digestive enzymes, especially initially, and things like betaine HCl. And the other thing is bile, as in like ox bile or something like that, especially for those who don't have a gallbladder, because if you kick into eating loads of fat, then you're possibly going to struggle. A lot of people will have diarrhea initially when they increase their fat intake, and it's just because their livers aren't secreting enough bile to be able to cope, and if that continues, then it may be a bile liver issue. So yeah, that's kind of been doing lots of research, and I understand a lot of this. Bone broth is another thing. I've got some cooking away there at the moment in the slow cooker. I had a couple of years of having bone broth every day years ago when I went onto the GAPS diet, and that was to heal my gut up, and it made a massive difference. The GAPS diet initially made a massive difference, and that's one of my things that I know now. So when I initially went onto GAPS, I got rid of all veggies and fruit out of my diet, and it was just I was having broth with meat cooked on the bones in the broth, and then gradually introduced some eggs and some yogurt and bits and pieces, and my whole digestive system changed completely, massively. And then I just gradually started introducing other things, and then eventually went back to my normal diet's pretty clean, but lots of fruits and veggies, and then ended up with some more health issues. And back then I was drinking a lot of wine as well, which is not good. So that's basically what I wanted to talk about. So initially my plan is I've been buying raw milk, which is just amazing, and making kefir out of it. So my plan initially is to do lots of meat and fat, dairy, so butter, raw milk, and cheeses and eggs. If I'm unsure about the cheeses, whether I should stay on those initially or not, but I'll see how I go. See what happens, because my weight's been stuck for the last month or so. not really budging, just still going up and down that 1 kilo. I talk about that in my last blog post. And so I'll see what happens with that and the inflammation, aches and pains, all that sort of stuff. And if I think that I need to, I will remove the cheeses. And I'll just experiment, see what works, see what doesn't work. And if I need to, I'll just go to meat and water and stuff for a while. But I'm hoping I don't actually need to do that over any kind of extended period of time. It feels really restrictive to me. I might change my mind on that later, but at the moment it feels really restrictive. So that's where I am. If you've got any comments or questions, fire away below. Have a look at my blog if you want to. There's not a lot on there at the moment because I just started it fairly recently, madeforketo.com. Find me on social media. If you like this video, please subscribe, hit the notification bell, and share with anyone you think might like to follow along with what I'm doing. Okay, so thank you for watching, and I will talk to you again another day. Okay, bye-bye.